Good morning. Today is Friday, February 13th. I'm Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Breaking right now, a car intentionally slams right into United States consulate, sending a guard flying right there. We're going to tell you everything we know coming up.
All right, this guy is worried Governor Scott Walker isn't smart enough to be president.
And Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
I never saw that one before. Apparently, Howard Dean says he has some advice for the Wisconsin governor.
Yes, lower your voice. And remember this sleepy moment at the State of the Union.
Remember, well, we just learned why Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was taking a snooze. The hiccup kind of gave it away.
I can talk now. She's not there. She's awake because she's watching Fox and Friends live from New York City.
Hi, it's Gary Sinise. You're watching Fox and Friends.
Watched Gary Sinise a little bit earlier this week with Bill O'Reilly, who was out on the West Coast. Always doing great things for veterans.
Two of my favorite people.
Right.
Together.
Those two.
Together.
Well, how does that make Steve and I feel?
Well, you're two of my favorite people.
Okay.
Come on, we knew that.
The top four, I
I
guess.
can have four.
I guess so.
Why not?
Thanks for joining us on this Friday the 13th. You guys aren't superstitious, aren't you?
No.
You don't have that triskaidenophobia
No,
or
do
whatever.
you?
Right. I think
don't
isn't
know.
that scared of spiders, triskaidenophobia?
That's arachnophobia.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That I am.
Meanwhile, it's 8 degrees here in New York City. It is cold, and so it's a good day to watch TV.
Okay, so I am afraid of the cold. But first, we're going to bring you these hot headlines right now. We have a Fox News alert. ISIS militants reportedly gaining dangerous ground in Iraq. They're now just 15-minute drive from United States Marines as we speak.
That is not good. And in the country of Yemen, Al-Qaeda fighters flying their flag after they gained control of a key military base. So where does the White House stand on all of this trouble? It looks like things are spinning out of control.
Well, Leland Vitter will make it make sense to us. Will help try to make sense to us for us. She is live in Washington. Hey, Leland.
Hey, Brian, making sense of it all is a little bit tough. This is chaotic even by this Middle East standards. President Obama had called Yemen a success story a couple of months ago. The Yemeni government had been considered a key ally in the war on terror. Now it's a lawless state with lots of weapons up for grabs, and it didn't take long for Al-Qaeda to grab some of them. With the U.S. Embassy evacuated much of the U.S. counterterrorism assets out of the country, a Twitter account linked to Al-Qaeda in Yemen put up pictures of militants parading the spoils of war, weapons they allegedly snatched from an army base that they took over in the past 24 hours. The State Department, though, spent its time yesterday justifying their much lampooned departure from the Yemen capital.
Well, first, it wasn't hasty. Just because everybody in Yemen didn't know what the plans were, it didn't mean the plans weren't in place for weeks. We've been planning for weeks a range of contingency options. You referenced the ships. Obviously, we worked with the Omanis on getting a plane. We always have a range of options we can take when we're talking about a high-threat post.
This is a huge strategic gain for the Iranians. We have lost the pro-government, as you indicated. The Iranians are the gain here. The Houthis are a militant proxy of the Iranian government. They use the Quds Force and other reinforcements to assist in driving the pro-government troops out of Yemen.
As we've already seen, Al-Qaeda is using this time of less American counterterrorism operations to rearm and regroup. Keep in mind, the fall of Yemen also complicates things for Saudi Arabia, whose arch-rival Iran now has proxies in Iraq to their north, Yemen to their south, and now comes the question of if it's going to be possible for the Obama administration to unscramble the egg that Yemen is quickly becoming.
Wow.
Unscramble the egg.
Leland, thank you for all of that.
Good way to put it.
That's never been done before, but if you watch the Jen Psaki situation and you saw her try to explain what happened, she says, hey, yeah, for 2 weeks we knew that something could fall within the government, so we had a plan in place. However, we didn't know that they were going to people that were supposed to have our cars and drive them back to their homes. We didn't know they were going to get out of those cars. We actually didn't know. Our plan was in place to use the Omani private plane to get our professional soldiers, our Marines, out of there.
Right.
If that is your plan. That's a terrible plan. And now you have a situation where the CIA has nowhere to go. Al-Qaeda has taken the military base of the government that we once called an ally, and the Houthi government, who is affiliated not only with Darius Rucker, but with Iran, now they take over that government. So maybe our hope is that the Houthis and Al-Qaeda will kill each other.
Meanwhile, ISIS has taken down the town of al-Baghdadi in Iraq and spreading in Afghanistan amidst troop drawdown. Okay, so you hear Jen Psaki saying, don't worry, be happy, everything's okay in the Middle East. And then you listen to the sensibility of Charles Krauthammer with Megyn Kelly, who said, this is humiliating what's going on. Watch.
It's humiliating. And this is after Benghazi. It isn't as if we didn't know what was going to happen. The Houthis took effective control of Sana'a, the capital, a few weeks ago. A week ago, they announced they were going to take over the government. This is not sudden. It isn't as if it happened overnight. And yet, with all the planning, they had to leave with the keys in the cars running. The Marines humiliatingly had to remove their weapons and leave them behind. And you asked, why was there no military transport? There was no answer to that.
Why does this matter to you? Because over there in Yemen, that's where the bad guys are. That's where they want to, that's where they train, that's where they come from. They want to come and they want to kill us. And that's why it's been great in the past where we've had the CIA presence there, we've had a government friendly to us, but now that has all changed.
And Al-Qaeda just took over that military base, Al-Qaeda AP. Do you remember? They took credit for the Charlie Hebdo slaughter. That's what we're dealing with right now, and that's who's taking territory.
And that's where the underwear bomb came from, and that's where the cartridges, would-be cartridge bombs came from. That's where Al-Awlaki was there. We were able to take him out.
All right. Meanwhile, it's moving.